Hi, sweetheart. Hi.
How are you?
I am well. I am well, and usually I answer that very differently. Sometimes I'm not well, but today is
Right.
a good day,
Oh,
right?
good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to hear that. Well,
And
thank
how
you
are you?
so much for having me.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for making time. I understand that you're a very busy woman.
Oh,
And
yes, very busy.
but I truly, I really am grateful that you've made time to speak with me here on Hello Fitness TV. Just so you know, do you go by Jessica or do you prefer Jess?
Jess is fine. I love
Yeah.
Jess.
Yeah.
It's much more personal for me.
There you go. Friends already.
Yes, please.
So Jess, here on Hello Fitness TV, and I tell this to people that follow me on my personal platform on Hello, follow the Lita. I very much live in a really fitness focused space, and what I have recognized is, at least for myself, and I know I can speak for many people, is that health is all encompassing, not just to like our physical bodies or what we see in the mirror, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and all these great things. So I've had the pleasure to speak with wonderful people such as yourself, where we can talk about all things that pertain to our general health and wellness, and just our greatness as human beings, as women, navigating these times in this country. And so there's a whole bunch of things to be said.
Whew.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a
Yes.
lot. But first and foremost, I do want to start with who you are. You, like I always say, women, especially, I say especially, not that there's any bias to men, I love y'all too, but we have many things, right? We have many titles, we do many things, not just for ourselves, for our families. You are, it's funny, I feel like I've seen a reel of yours and your character.
Oh, no.
Girl, I have become an instant fan, and I'm not the type of person to like fluff around or lie. Like, I was like, I love her and I've not even met her, so I am having a bit of a fan moment. You
Oh,
are
my
a
God.
wonderful actress. You are many. I understand you to be a wife as well. But
I
I like
am.
to start by asking all my guests to define themselves outside of all these titles that are associated to what we do, right? Like, most people think of me as like a health and fitness expert, or a personal trainer, and all these things that I do. But
Yeah.
then, like, who am I inside? Who am I without all these titles? So I would love to ask you that question. Who is Jess Garcia outside of being an actress or what you do for a living?
Ooh. First
And
of
I
all,
can give you an example.
that's such an incredible question. But yes, I would love to hear an example.
Yeah.
It's so
So,
funny because I was listening to one of your lives yesterday, and I got to that question, and then my internet cut off, which might happen again.
oh,
Spectrum is on their way, supposedly. But I was like, oh my God, what a great question. And I didn't even think of it to answer it myself. So I would
okay.
love an example, actually.
Yeah. So you came semi-prepared. I love
I
it.
did. I came.
So, what, like, when somebody asks, who is Lita? I say that I am a daughter. I'm a big sister. I'm an empath. I'm such a lover, and I'm a seer of good things, usually before anything else. And I am hopeful. I'm a lot of things. So, perhaps maybe that can give you a little bit of a kickstart.
Oh, absolutely. I'm also a daughter, a proud daughter. I am a lover of. It's so funny because I am such a lover of humans, and at the same time, I hold them at such a high standard as well. So I feel like I have such a love-hate relationship with people.
Yeah. Oh,
Um, it's so funny. But I love to laugh. I love to make people laugh. That's such a gift that I feel like is so needed right now as well. But it's one that I hold very dear to my heart. And I'm a forgiver. I do love to understand where people are coming from, I would say. But again, holding people at a very high standard. You
yes.
can see where I go back and forth. But yes, I thank you for that question too, because we do tend to think of our occupation as the one thing to define us, and
Yes.
we're so much more than a resume.
Absolutely. And I'd love to get into that with you because one, I want to congratulate you on your feature. I know that you're using your voice and platform to speak on, where do I begin? Like, the injustices of this, of what's happening to the citizens of this country, specifically minorities, and then in your case, specifically the Latinx community, which I applaud, because I have the pleasure of knowing some wonderful people that have enormous platforms on social media, and it's just in their daily life, whether or not they're teachers and influential people that choose not to. And so when people are, and again, I try not to judge that. Everybody, we live in a free country. Did I say that? But so when people are actually using their platform and their voice, I am personally, as a woman, very inspired by what you share. But can we dive into that a little? I'd like to speak about this passion of yours of bringing awareness to these things, and how it reaches you personally on a personal level. But without me speaking on it, could you maybe speak to these issues that you're very passionate about?
Sure. Well, this op-ed specifically was about, just the stigma of searching for mental health or mental balance or wellness in the Latinx community. I think it's so easy for minorities in general, specifically immigrants from any country, that we blanket our trauma as strength, and we tend to not really realize that these situations that happen to us aren't normal, aren't things that we necessarily need to just bulldozer like they didn't happen. Or yes, they made us who we are, but that doesn't mean that we aren't dealing with our own trauma every day. And that was a conversation that I was having with my mom. And this example that I put in the op-ed was, my mom was dropping me off at a friend's house in Burbank. This was over 10 years ago. And we got pulled over by the police. And my mom is such a strong woman who doesn't hold her tongue for anyone. Like, I'm just so used to seeing her like dominate the workplace that was so, majority male, and her have no problem. And when we specifically got pulled over, she was shaking and she got really quiet and she was stumbling over her words. And I was like, what is going on? Who is this? I don't know this woman. And she was childlike. And I realized, as I literally sat in my privilege of like, we're getting pulled over, it's no big deal, that, she's had an entire childhood where the police were always a terrifying idea. She was born and raised in Cuba, right in the midst of the 60s of, Castro's Cuba. And my whole family tried to leave. And there was a group of men that tried to help them, and they got stopped at trying to get on the boat. And it's interesting because my mom was never told this was happening. She was like literally woke up in the middle of the night and was told that they were going on a fishing trip and to pack everything that you could carry. And they got stopped by the police and they were held there. And, my mom was bodily searched and fingerprinted and, interrogated by herself. And our whole family was held there for 6 weeks. But my grandfather, who was separated the whole time, had to be there for 2 years. And just the trauma that, growing up, what that does to you as a child. There's no way to relate that to anything or try to understand that. So it was so clear to me that this was definitely not an isolated incident. This isn't something that's only happening to my mom. This is happening all over our world. And we can't, have this idea of that there's something wrong with you if you're seeking mental health. Or you have to, you know what I mean? Everybody should have a therapist. Everybody should have someone to talk to.
Yes.
It's like going to see a doctor when, you only think something's wrong. That's not, it's something that we have to put our mind in the same stance as our body, as anything else.
Yeah. And be more preventative.
Absolutely.
So it's like, right, you get sick, then you see a doctor, but like, what are the things we can do actively on a day-to-day basis, or even a week-to-week thing for those that struggle with scheduling and time, where we don't hit walls of, some deeply severe mental health issues. And it's funny that you speak of trauma, because I had a guest once that spoke about sort of connecting trauma to mental illness. And I'm a big believer in certain traumas that happen in our lifetime can also then carry down to our children and future generations when they're not dealt with. So, as I know it, mental health is something that has been very overlooked, underrated, and I believe now more than ever, with not only COVID and this pandemic, but under this administration, and I try not to get too political, but more than ever, we really are seeing such a crisis. And I think that it's important that if we, as individuals, people like yourself, Jess, and anyone really, can speak about this more and break down those stigmas. I think it's really important, not just for us living these current times, but also for our future children and generations to come. So I love that you mentioned that. And again, I thank you for sharing light on those types of things. Now, I mentioned what we can do on a daily basis. Like, what are the things that we can tackle that we can, one, recognize trauma, especially you already recognize your mother's. What are you doing on a daily basis that are perhaps keeping you in a happy state of mind or a positive state of mind? Or what are you doing for self-care to practice self-love?
For me, I find happiness and kind of structure. So I feel like I have to like kind of have like a plan. So every morning
Like
I kind of have the routine, exactly. I kind of have the same routine where I still go to bed relatively early. I'm typically asleep by 10:30, and I wake up at 6 in the morning. Like, it's still very much like I've kept that schedule, not on purpose. I just think I'm, a senior citizen at heart. But I wake up, I have my celery juice, and which is a new thing for me. I'm like almost at a month of celery juice. My dear stylist and friend, Monica, has gotten me on celery juice, and she swears by it. And it really has helped me because I have psoriasis as well. And she's been trying to teach me more, holistic ways, because I don't want to take a pill. I don't want to get a shot, because you hear those commercials and it's like, take this shot and 75% of your skin will be clear, but you may now have 18 other diseases. Like, you're like, oh, great.
Well,
no,
like,
I'll just
death. He's like,
yes. That's always okay, I'll just, have psoriasis. I'll be all right. But that's been helping. And I drink my celery juice because it's awful. So like I drink it while I'm doing my Duolingo because I'm, still trying to learn Spanish.
Really?
Woo! Yes. Every day. I'm almost on day 70 of like every day doing my lesson.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to be better after all of this, I think, is my goal.
Yeah.
And also spending a lot of time. This is like the most I've been able to spend with my mom because she was working overnight. So she was working from 11 p.m. till 7:30 in the morning. So we were like never seeing each other, living in the same house. So this has really allowed us to have so many more of those conversations and opening up like, those old photo albums and kind of having those conversations, I think have been so good for us and for me. And knowing that like I'll have more stories to tell the future generations. I feel like we're all so in a hurry and never really taking the time to have those conversations with our families like we used to,
Right.
So that's actually been that's been very good for me. And then doing water aerobics with my mom.
Oh my God.
We're such nerds.
We're
such nerds watching YouTube videos.
If you're drinking celery juice, then surely there's some type of physical activity that you're also doing in your routine. Speak on it. What is this, like a daily thing? You and mom?
It is a daily thing. My mom has been, like so regimented. She's like 2 hours in the pool. She is like doing her jogging in there and her dancing. She puts on disco music and she is there for hours. And I looked up a bunch of different water workouts online and I've been doing them as well. But for me, like, it's so important to stay active. I had no idea for the longest time how important that was for me. And my sanity was to say moving. I didn't think that was me. I've spent so much of my life as a couch potato that I was like, oh, I don't need physical activity. And then it was like 2013, I found out I was pre-diabetic. And I was like, I'm 25. What? I can't, what? No. Right. So I had just gotten my biggest break on Disney when I got that news. And I was like, I can't have all this and then do this to myself, So changed that around. And I just got my blood back. I went to the doctor last week and I'm completely normal. My blood's in normal range. I'm not pre-diabetic right now. I'm very excited.
That is wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you. But that's been like, That's been trying to find that balance and putting
Balance. Yeah.
yourself first. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I read something on your social media, on your Instagram, that you have been struggling with, say, body image or body weight throughout the majority of your life. But now hearing you speak on this today, it sounds like you have some type of routine and you feel like you're perhaps more in control of your personal physical fitness. Would that be correct?
Absolutely. And I think also what's so important for me and my message is that I just never want anyone to think, because people see me lose weight and they're like, oh my God, why are you losing weight? You were like, you know what I mean? Like, I saw myself in you. And I'm never trying to lose weight for anybody. But the fact that, I'm in that age where I want to have kids soon and I want this vessel to be in tip top shape before that happens. I just stopped caffeine. Whew.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm 2 weeks of no caffeine.
Oh, how is that going?
It's going all right. I have a cup of decaf in the morning and I feel like I'm doing something. But yeah, I had no idea that it was really messing with me. It was messing with how my body felt. I was drinking caffeine from like 6 o'clock in the morning to like 4 in the afternoon and then just drinking water. But like, that's not healthy
Yeah,
either.
that's a lot of caffeine. Could that be a Cuban thing? I'm not sure.
Well,
A lot of coffee.
it's not a Cuban thing.
Yeah, fair.
But no, I think it's like I think you're right. When you start like doing celery juice or you start working out, you tend to start taking care of other, you
Oh,
know what
right.
I mean?
Absolutely. Different aspects of your life want to align with that common goal. And as
Right.
I heard juicing, that I'm like, okay, surely there's something physical we're doing.
I
But
mean,
actually,
only celery.
what was that?
Only celery.
That
I
but
just celery.
it's something that's different outside of your norm. And I think that
Yeah.
we should actually celebrate and pat ourselves on the back when we're able to make that change, more so on a consistent basis. Because I'm forever, especially young people, I'm saying it doesn't take for you to move mountains. Just change one habit.
Right.
Keep it consistent and see what it does for your life. And I feel like it
Hmm.
speaks exactly what you're saying.
Oh yeah, that was soda for me. I
Yeah.
was like
Soda?
I was a diet soda fiend. Like if you cut
Ooh.
me, I was gonna bleed Diet Dr. Pepper. Like that was going to happen. But yeah, no, it's been years since I've been like drinking diet soda, and I'm so happy about that too. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like every few months I'm like, okay, if I'm not on track, I'm like, what are we doing again?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, those are typically my go-tos.
Yeah, and I also loved, Jess, that you do mention that when you are losing weight, and then obviously with your fan base, there are women, young women specifically, that are like seeing themselves in you, and that always is a really beautiful thing, to be representative of a people, and especially of young women that then feel some type of way. Then when you drop the weight, and this came up in a conversation about Adele a few months ago.
Yeah.
She dropped a lot of weight and received such backlash for that. From her fans and the media. And it's interesting because I've not had the pleasure of speaking to Adele, but just like you said, most people aren't necessarily, especially being so far in the game, you know what the goal is. I can only imagine the goal is not to change yourself completely and drop a significant amount of weight to where you're unrecognizable. No one says, I'm going to look like somebody else. The idea is just pure health and honoring your body.
Right.
And I think, I'm sure if Adele had the opportunity to, and perhaps she has, it's like, I just want to be and live in a healthy vessel. Just like
Right.
that, I think is really important. So for all those young people out there that are saying, just don't lose any more weight, understand what she's trying to do is just be a better version of herself and live in a healthier body. Because when we live in a healthy body, we're just capable of so much more.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I love that. Thank you so much. Now, pivoting, and that was my seamless way of saying pivoting in business. Girl, the entertainment industry is like shut down. Are we coming back? Are we? Because I said
It's kind of coming back.
You're back, right?
It's kind of coming back. I mean,
Yeah.
I get calls all the time now and like trying to set up shoots, and it's just everything is. My husband just did a game show, and the precautions that they
On
took
set.
were on set.
Mm-hmm.
And the precautions that they took were unbelievable. And like it seemed pretty, like I was actually, because I was so nervous, I was like, I don't want to send him off to to be a guinea pig to see if the entire industry should come back, because that's what it kind of felt like it was doing.
Right.
But no, it went well, but I feel like people have to take it seriously, and we couldn't stay indoors for 2 months, so I doubt. I feel I'm getting nervous. I feel like schools have already opened up and they've already shut down in the same day. So
Yeah, well, it's funny because schools, our kids that are doing school remotely, I don't even think, I'm in California, I'm in LA, I'm not sure where you are, but I don't
yeah,
think, yeah, no, I think Governor Newsom said, nope.
yeah, hours,
So,
yeah.
exactly. So it's a really interesting time for a lot. My fiance also works in the film industry as a stuntman and rigger. So he's actually in Berlin right now.
Oh
And
wow.
to hear about the procedures is obviously excessive, but for a good reason. But it is kind of scary because I'm like, do you get tested before you come home? Because, there's things
Right.
to worry about. But as it pertains to you and work, what are you doing to pivot? I mean, I suppose you can't really pivot. You were just waiting on phone calls, right? At this point.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's so much I also want to do besides acting. So I
Oh,
just have
great.
been utilizing this time to, I'm developing projects of my own. I've been writing. Writing is another love of
Nice.
mine. So I've definitely been using this time to do as much as I can on, when we aren't going to be this, have this time. So
That's
still got
perfect.
to be boss lady.
Yeah, you already know, which is awesome. I had no idea you had writing talents as well.
I
Any
don't know about talents. I don't know if
no,
anyone has said that. I'm just trying. The
but
jury's out
using
on
time
that.
wisely to exercise these growing talents.
Yes.
Right, but I'm sure they're just fine. I'm sure. I would like to say I'm always respectful of people's time. I do want to say that part of what I like to ask all our guests too is really based on gratitude. Anyone that knows me well knows that I live in like this space of kind of like being a bit of a weirdo in a sense that I'm forever trying to tell people, and you do this so beautifully, by the way, is that when I meet people, I tend to really, I don't necessarily see them before I feel them. It's an energy. And I
Mhm.
think that I like to speak on this a lot, especially when it comes to my kids, because I don't want to raise children that are judgy and biased, but instead just get a feeling for
Mhm.
energy of people. If it doesn't feel right, perhaps you should be hanging out with those friends, et cetera, et cetera. And gratitude to me is one of those key staples that I stand on because I truly believe that the minute that I'm like ungrateful for any of my blessings, I feel like they're all going to disappear. So I do,
Whew.
yeah, it's true because it's like sometimes it's so easy to complain, right? Especially in
Yep.
these times. Everyone's dealing with hardships on all different capacities. Uh, and myself included. But then I think about, oh my gosh, who am I to
Yeah.
complain about anything? There's so much to be grateful for. And I think if we all channel our energy into what we have versus what we don't, we would be better off. So that was a really long like statement to then lead to this. I like to truly actually present these conversations and I love them. It's a perfect partnership because I sip them and they're delicious.
And
And,
they're delicious.
but then I like to ask this question that seems somewhat corny. It's like, Jess, what are you truly grateful for?
Oh, I am truly grateful for this moment. I am truly grateful for my mother's health, for my health, my husband's health, my dog's health.
Oh, I
Being,
love that.
I could literally gratitude. You said everything that I feel so much. Gratitude is how you should lead. It's how you should start your day. It's how you should end your day. It's how you should live throughout it. Because I agree with you. There have been days where I've wanted to, feel down about the situation or whatnot. And I'm just, what do I have to be upset about? Like,
Yeah.
God has been so good to me, and like the least I can do is give back or speak on injustice, or you know what I mean, or use my platform to help other people. That is the very least I can do. So
I love that.
I'm truly grateful for a lot.
I really love that. And even hearing you say that, it comes across very genuine, Jess. And I believe that we're from the same tribe,
I do
right?
too,
I feel like if we met,
100%.
like, hi. We
And
are from the same tribe.
I've already had friends who are like, oh my God, you don't understand, I'm her biggest fan. Like I watch her
Oh
YouTube
my
videos all the
God, that is pure love. And those moments I'm grateful for. So with that said, again, I'm respectful of time. I play this really quick game. It's called Rapid Questions. I'm
time.
going to
Okay.
throw out questions to you that perhaps should be fun and that perhaps you have an answer for, like right off the
Okay.
bat. Sometimes these lead into a whole nother conversation, but we'll see how we go. Do you mind if you play with this
Yes.
before we?
I love it. I just know I love a tangent, so I might
And
might go
this
off
is the
on
game
one.
for you. This is the
Okay,
game.
great.
And I'm sure forever listening and those that will listen maybe perhaps learn something new about you. Okay, so first question. Favorite genre of music?
Genre? Ooh, Motown.
Ooh, yes. I like old school girl. Okay.
Yeah.
Any hidden talents? Yeah. I love it.
That's about it. That's about it.
Very good. I love it. Here's one that's really interesting to ask in these times. Alone time or time together?
Can I not check both those boxes? I can only
say both, girl. I need both.
I can only appreciate one with the other. You know what I mean?
I like that. That's so true. That is so true. What am I still at this?
Please do.
I think I can answer this for you. I was going to say smoothies or juices.
Oh, neither. But I'll do smoothies.
Really?
actually.
All right.
Yeah.
It sounds like those
Yeah.
celery juices are coming to an end.
It's not juice. It's celery water. They just don't call it juice because that's gross.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Okay. All right. How about this one? Land or sea?
Sea.
Yes, water girl. Okay, me too. What would you say your spirit animal is?
Ooh, an elephant.
Ooh, interesting. May I ask why?
I've always had a connection to elephants like my whole life. They're just so beautiful and majestic and wise, and
yeah.
I just love elephants.
Yeah, I agree. Beautiful. It's my mother's favorite too. Okay, can you name somebody you admire?
Ooh, I say her name all the time, but Ashley Marie Preston is a friend of mine, and she's an incredible activist, and I think she's, going to change the world all by herself, and I look up to her a lot.
Oh, that's such a beautiful thing to say. Wonderful. Okay, how about this one, which I always love to ask people in your industry. A TV series you're currently binging or have binged that you'd recommend? I mean, this one too. Because I guess everybody listening is watching or has watched on my blog.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
I May Destroy You was like my favorite. Absolutely. I binged, like, I didn't even binge it. I waited every week to watch it again. I'm like, HBO, get it together. I want to see them all together. But that's been my number one binge, actually. I just started the new Penny Dreadful with my mom.
Oh.
Because there's a bunch of Latinos in there, and I got super excited.
I love it. Where?
It's on Showtime.
Showtime. Okay, got you. There we go.
But I haven't gone through it yet.
Okay. You haven't started yet? Or you said
no, I'm on episode 4, I think.
Okay, cool. And is it a thumbs up?
Oh, yeah. I like it a lot.
I love it. All right. Sounds good. Shower or bath?
Shower. I like the idea of a bath, but then, like, I have to clean the shit out of that bathtub first because I don't trust anybody who's been there, not even me. And then you got to, like, set up the mood for it. And by the time you sit in it, it's not warm. Like, it's cute for an Instagram picture, but no.
It's investment in time.
It is. Unless you're going to, like, a spa and they're setting that up for you, it's not worth it.
I agree. I wouldn't agree. All right, how about this? Sneakers or stilettos?
Oh, stilettos.
Ooh, okay. You'll hear that? I like that.
I love heels, and I haven't been able to wear them in months because there's been really no reason to. So I miss stilettos.
I couldn't even tell you the last time I put on heels, and I am almost scared that at my age, if I was to wear them, I probably have 20 minutes before that my feet would be.
Excuse me, did you hear her? At her age.
Well, when you get, I turned 37 this month.
First of all, where?
And end of July.
Where? You look like you should be in high school right now.
Oh my God.
Do you want to audition for On My Block? Come on. Come on now. Come on. She said at my age.
You're right. Age ain't nothing but a number anyway.
Exactly. And you look a hard 18.
What was that?
I said, and you look a hard 18.
I'm already in love with you, and now I just love you even deeper.
Oh.
Same tribe.
Yes, please. 100%.
Okay, so I'm actually enjoying these because you're so much fun to talk to. How about this? Name one thing about your body that you love.
Ooh, I have a laundry list. I love my eyebrows. I love my teeth. I love my feet. I hate other people's feet. I love my feet. Very cute.
You are a unique soul.
That's so funny that you say that because Oh, because these are the exact things I hated about myself as a child. And then you realize that those are the things that will make you money.
Yeah.
So remember that.
Hear that, y'all? Leave alone. Okay, a couple more. Okay, I have three. Is that okay?
Okay.
Because I could have
Yeah.
name one thing you would tell your 16-year-old self.
Oh, I've answered this question before, and I'm going to give you that answer and another answer because that's not fair. The first answer is don't touch your eyebrows, leave your eyebrows alone, because at 16 my eyebrows were like this big, and then sometimes they were like, I mean, they naturally want to be this big, but they were just little small nothings. Please leave your eyebrows alone.
I love that.
Embrace your shape. Don't try to have someone else's shape. Your face is unique, okay? So are your eyebrows. What else would I tell her? I think I honestly, the same note I would say to 16-year-old is the same person right now, which is like, just everything is going to be okay. I feel like I worry about everything. I wait for that other foot to drop on a constant basis. You know what I mean? It's like, I think everything that I've been through with my mom's been ill in the past, and I've just been like so worried that that's going to happen again. So I'm always constantly like, are you okay? We should go to the doctor. Are you okay? Are you, like, you know, constantly. And I do that with everything. I do that with money. I do that with, like, so this COVID whole situation has been, you know, a roller coaster.
I agree.
So I just tell her to relax.
Relax. You know, and I'll share this because this helped me, as I was actually the same. Sometimes I fall into that myself, especially in really unknown times. A mentor of mine said that you can choose to constantly worry about what's going to come, but you do realize then you are just giving your life away. Like, literally, your life is given away to your worry.
Yeah.
Now, is it worth it? And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so right, because I'm always worrying about tomorrow. And then I realized, oh no, I want to live this life. And then being in a state of presence was something that I was trying to practice a lot in meditation. So maybe that helps you. Maybe it didn't.
No, it really, really did. I mean, you're echoing the voices of a lot of people in my life.
You're you know.
Yes. No, but I need to listen. I don't know how many people it's going to take before I listen.
Let it absorb. But I get it. It's mom's health especially. But like, just having a beautiful relationship with her and spending as much time with her when you can is combating that fear. Like, you know, life is going to happen, but as long as I value the time and be present with her always, you know? So the way we just like change our perspective on things means everything. Yeah. It's
true. 100%.
Yeah. 2 more questions and I'm going to let you be.
With my spectrum, man.
Sure. He might come first. I don't know.
I'm surprised it hasn't even, the Wi-Fi is still here.
Perfect. Did I lose my train of thought? Yeah, I did. No,
sorry.
House is burning down. Name one thing that you would grab. Provided, husband, mother.
Everybody's okay. The dog is okay.
Already running out with you, so name something else.
Ooh, I would probably grab all of our paperwork, all of our birth certificates, my mom's nationalization papers, our birth certificates. I have a section for all of that. I would probably grab that. To be honest. It's not a fun answer, but it's probably what I would grab.
But it's also interesting to see like what people really are valuing and understand, especially in this country, how that could be also really devastating. And that's it's such a crazy time, Jess, you know. So, but that's really telling. Yeah, really telling.
Don't deport my mom, please.
Yeah, right. And this is a reality for a lot of people. So, good answer and a smart one, I think. And last and final, I always ask people this: please name one thing on your bucket list that you haven't yet accomplished.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of things. I actually have a bucket list. But I mean, do you want a fun one or like a real one?
Ooh, if it won't take too much of your time, can I get both?
You can get both of them. I really want to smoke out with Snoop Dogg. That's like #1 on my list. It actually is #1 on my list.
Best answer.
100% want to smoke out with Snoop Dogg. And then I want to win an Oscar. I want to have that in my hands and have that whole speech that I've also written. I have many. I want to host SNL. So many.
I wasn't lying when I said when I watched some of the reels and things on YouTube on my blog. watching you play Jasmine, I, you are a very special force, and I'm sure you've heard this many times by many people, also even in your industry, because I'm not an actress, but I am a lover of film, and you truly are just like a really special individual that I know is touching so many people, specifically a lot of young people, I feel, as well, and giving light to that unique, quirky, typically outcast individual, and you give her such a beautiful light and love. And I'm just, as I'm a bonus mom, and again, like yourself, perhaps preparing soon to be a birth mom. I'm so grateful for women like you that exist and live so unapologetically and so beautifully in your talents, God-given talents, that everything you just mentioned here on this little IG live, I truly believe is obtainable, and it's just a matter of time. And I cannot wait for that moment that I can sit back while I watch the Oscars. I remember when we were on IG live and she said that, and look, oh my gosh, I'll be rooting for you. You have an instant fan in me and forever fan. You have a wonderful energy, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for making time to speak with me, Jess. Seriously.
First of all, you just made my whole like week, my whole month. You're like, I'm menstrual, so you're gonna make me cry probably. But like, no, thank you. That means so much to me. You have no idea, because as a worrier, you can ask Brett. Like, Brett's always like, you better relax. Because like I'm always like going and I'm like, do I know my lines? Is this gonna be funny? How if I try this? Do you think that'll be funny if I just throw myself over here and like to do a barrel roll? Will people laugh? So I can't tell you how much that means to me, honestly. Thank you. And you've really been, this whole conversation has been such a blessing, and thank you. And you have a new fan, but more a friend. So please don't ever be a stranger, because you are such a light, and I would love you to have more of you in my life.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Like I said, same tribe. So it's just a matter of like when I get to meet you in person.
Yes.
Because
when the world is a better place, and it's going to be.
But I see your light, sis. Thank you so much for the work you do and using your platform. Keep shining. Until next time. No goodbye.
Thank you. Very soon. Yes,
guys,
not goodbye.
Thank you for fitting in. Jess, again, thank you so much for making time. We'll be in touch.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Guys.